Episode 2 of Sir Ulrich hosts Money Matters. A picture is worth 1,000 words, said by someone who doesn't like to read. These two could write a book with and about pictures. Greg Zodge and Sean Harris of the Meme Factory. Welcome, you two. How is it going?
Hey,
what's up, Sir Ulrich? Excited to be here, man.
Thank you so much. Sean, how are you?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. It's going to be a fun podcast today. And Greg, why did you copy my shirt? Why are you wearing the same color shirt as me right now? What's going on?
You know, I only have like 4 or 5 shirts, and this is a total accident. Total accident.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's an accident, Ulrich. It's an accident.
Speaking of accidents, while we were trying to start the show in the first take, Greg wanted to give me these creepy hummings while I was trying to do the hook and intro, and as a newbie podcaster, completely threw me off, and I rugged the entire show. So hopefully there's no rugging for this rendition. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So the Meme Factory, when I got into the Bitcoin space on Twitter, it's how do you say, it's almost like, what the hell is going on? What are all these pictures? What do they mean? Who are these people with laser eyes? And as the Meme Factory, you guys take credit for creating the laser eyes. Greg, as the leader of the Meme Factory group, maybe you can give the audience a rundown of what the Meme Factory is.
The Meme Factory, first and foremost, doesn't exist. It's total lies. And don't look behind the wall. Anyway.
Two memes in about 5 seconds. I have a lot to take in right now.
It's an opt-in group of people who like to meme and talk about Bitcoin and finance. There's no leaders, man. It works. It functions like the Wu-Tang Clan. Everybody brings their own ideas, and we try to make something of it.
Right on. So Sean,
Greg's kind of like the leader, basically.
I would, Greg. Do you acknowledge yourself as a leader, or are you kind of like humbly kind of pushing that aside?
Decline.
Okay, you decline.
I don't think Greg wants to be known as the leader of the Meme Factory. First of all,
Sean, what about you? So I want to know. So you say there's no leaders, which is kind of Bitcoinish and like decentralized, kind of like, there are no rulers. Crucify your heroes. But are there roles for people in the group? Like, is someone in charge of this, that, to make the group functioning, if it's functioning at all? What do you say about that one?
No, there's no roles. We can all decide who we want to be. And the only role is that Labra is HR. So other than that, there are no roles at the Meme Factory. We can be whoever we want to be, which is great.
So you guys have
works for an organization that has no eyesight for the future,
Some high time preference, right on. So but here's another thing, like you guys have all these crazy these images and like a lot of cutting room floor stuff, photoshopping, editing. Who's the expert in the group in regards to that, or do you guys kind of all share that talent?
In regards to that, I would say Chairforce is probably the best. If we're talking about just straight up photos, Chairforce is but there's so many. We all know how to do it. We've all been memeing each other in the back.
Chairforce is better than Rusty.
They do two different things, but yeah, that's true. Rusty's graphics are on a whole nother level that Chairforce can't do, but Chairforce does some memes that Rusty can't do either. Like, we all do things that other people can't do. So I got
some images for the show's thumbnail from you guys, and then I looked at the size, and they were like 10 kilobits and 20 kilobits each, and I was like, oh, we can't do much with these. And so I actually did hit up Rusty. He gave me some higher def images, but when I see the work that Rusty's done, it's just it's crazy. So I do respect all of you guys from the graphics work you do. But I did have to knock on Rusty's door and say, can you help me out? Can you give me something with a little more megs?
We all knock on Rusty's door for graphics every single day. So that's true. That is Rusty's. He's the graphic dealer.
So when did you guys when did you guys get together? Was it 21? Was it 20? Was it before that?
Like me and Sean, when did we become an item, or are you talking about the?
When did the meme factory kind of come together as a whole group? Like, in fact, and maybe that's a good lead-in question. Like, who was the initial members of the meme factory? How did people start adding to the group? When was that all taking place?
I mean, Sean, did you tell him about the application page or no?
You can apply if you want to join.
Is there a Meme Factory Academy? Are there ever new entrants? Who's the most recent new entrant going?
You know, like screen share, so you can if you can pull it up on your computer, it's just memefactory.com/apply.
Let me pull that up. Yeah, actually, that's let me pull that up. Share screen. I lost it when we had to rug it before. Window. We have. Ignore that one. That will be for another time, but we'll go with memefactory.com.
Is it Meme Factory is it Meme Factory TM?
Meme Factory.
I believe so.
That's not them. We're going to cut this part out. Meme Factory TM. There we go. Meme Factory TM. There we go. Let's make it a little bigger. Right on. The Meme Factory does not exist, and we have about 14 people right here. Who was the last person in?
Rope. Rope is the last. He's the newest addition to the Meme Factory. Right. He's been oh, Greg, come on. I got
it. I got the link. Oh, you got it in there too. Nice.
Yeah,
I got it.
Rope has been the newest addition. He's been great. You know, he's the young blood, and he's been giving us old Meme Factory OGs a lot of good memes, and it's been fun having Rope in the group. We actually do have, if you click on that link that we just put in there, Ulrich.
This one right here?
In the chat.
Oh, in chat. Yeah. Meme Factory apply. Here we go.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. Right. Of course. Right. Yeah. 404 error. Nothing to see here. There is no Meme Factory. Yeah. So I guess. Yeah. And Rope has been with the group at least as long as I've been aware of you guys. I would say that the group is essentially closed for applications. This is who you guys are, and you are whole as is right now, correct?
Well, the Meme Factory actually, for the on a more serious note, for the halving party, we actually have hired one person who's not necessarily part of the Meme Factory. Actually, I don't know if we hire someone, do they become part of the Meme Factory? Greg, how does that work?
You know, I don't like this line of questioning to begin with. But I believe he was hired on as a contractor.
Yeah, that's true. He was hired on as a contractor. So
I think we're in good shape there.
Okay, that's true. Yeah. But first hire, you know.
Right on. So you guys are growing. Memeing, the mnemonic warfare.
Yeah.
I kind of want you guys to answer this question. It gets a little deeper. So in general social media, people consume memes and then move on, likely never to see that same exact meme again. So it's different from like classical art. Like, you know, people will see the Mona Lisa hundreds of times. Where's the residual value found in memes? Where or how can meme culture be enhanced if it needs to be at all?
Greg?
Meme culture needs to be enhanced. I like the ephemerality of memes, right? So like it goes out into the space, and it's on the internet, so it's forever, right? So like there are hundreds of rainbow dildo pixels out on my timeline in the past that just aren't going away. I'm not deleting them, but right. So that's the nature of meme. It's supposed to be ephemeral. It's supposed to speak to the particular, the given moment, and then forget about it. And hopefully you can keep making ones that hit. And a lot of times you don't, and sometimes you do.
Yeah, and I think it matters about what's going on. A lot of times you can make a meme that's just about right now, like something that happens today. And then sometimes you can make a meme that is more timeless, that is like, oh, this is something that will be funny now and will make sense now, and it also makes sense in 5 years, or 10 years or 15 years, and someone will look back at it and they'll go, I saw that meme 10 years ago. Or you'll see one of your own memes. You put a meme out. I put a meme out one time on Twitter, and I remember seeing it come back on Instagram from a whole different account. It was like some random crypto account. And so it's just funny when you see that, like, that's literally the meme that I made, and now someone else has stolen it and they ran with it, which is okay.
I even have another story, and I think you may remember this. It didn't happen too long ago, Sean, that I was one of your teammates was putting out sort of like a meme kind of headline, like a report, and it was quoted somewhere else, and I think I put in one of my Instagram stories. and then you hit me up quickly, said, "Where did you get this?" I'm like, from that Telegram group. It was like, oh yeah, that's for sure fake. Like,
yes.
I was like, oh my gosh.
I remember that.
That was so funny. I'm like, and that's where I was like, man, like this stuff could be, I mean, it's propaganda, but it's propaganda for what you are saying is good for the world. Like everything is propaganda. Anytime you put out news, whether it's true, whether it has some fudging, there's a reason for it. You are using it to drive a point home, so other people who may not be on board can see it, say, huh, maybe adopt your mindset. And it's interesting, and it's like it's there and it's gone, or it could be there and then it evolves. Like you said, your meme got a leg of its own, and you've seen modifications of it over time. So here's another one, kind of deep, and both of you guys I want to answer. So, like the common man, like at least in the Western world, we will have seen artists from, art from Van Gogh, Rembrandt, Basquiat, Haring, and you may not know who they are, but you will recognize their signature by how they make their art. Basquiat has a certain way, Van Gogh, Rembrandt, all these people, everyone knows what a Picasso looks like. Do you find that a particular challenge in creating memes? Like, how do you circumvent that? Is it even worth the pursuit of credit for a particular family tree of memes? Sean, you kind of mentioned that you saw one of your memes in the past, like or you wrote one in the past and a year later it pops up. How do you feel about seeing that? And it's like, hey, that was my original idea. Does it bother you? Does it make you proud? Talk to me about that kind of dynamic.
Well, it's funny because Greg actually mentioned this like over a year ago, because there's always the topic of like watermarking, especially your pictures, right? RD is the classical watermarker. He does his watermarks and they're pretty strong. You'll see him. Chairforce, I love how he watermarks his. He'll do like his own like picture, and then he'll do it the opacity. He'll turn it all the way down basically, so you can barely see it. I'd like to do that, especially when I feel like I have a banger meme. I'm like, I'm gonna put my face on this meme, but no one's gonna see it unless you like double click in, and then you'll see my face on it. And so I like that idea. Greg had another way of doing it, which you're mentioning is basically like everyone has their own special thumbprint or fingerprint. And Greg, I think you talked about this like a year ago. Greg stopped watermarking his memes. Why don't you? Maybe you can explain it better than I could. I mean, it was your idea when you did it.
I wanted a way to make people realize it was one of mine without putting my face on it. And I also wanted it to be like free, but also anybody who is familiar with my meme content would see it and be like, oh, that's one of Greg's. The easiest way I figured out how to do that was just pick a font nobody's using and try to continue using that font on any of my memes. So words come up. You go, I think I think I know that one. That's a real bad meme, but I recognize the font. I think that's one of Greg's.
So you guys do figure out a way to establish your signature in a creative way, so you can get that kind of that subjective credit where, you know, if you didn't do that, it would just be out in the internet, and some enterprising person may take credit for that where it shouldn't be the case. Has that ever happened to you guys?
I mean, Craig Wright's taking credit for Bitcoin. Like, there's always going to be idiots out there who take credit for work that they've never done. Dan Held will always slap his Held logo on a good meme. People will always do that. So like, you can't stop someone from doing that. But we'll know, right? And that's the thing, is like, when we see someone, when all of us kind of know each other's memes because we pay attention. And so when someone snags someone's meme and then puts it out like a year later, we're in the meme factory chat, and it's like, one of us is like, hey, didn't Rope do this one? Didn't Pedro do this one? Like, we'll
it's
know.
Not hard to retweet you.
Yes. It's not hard to retweet or quote tweet.
Not hard to retweet.
But people want to take that meme and then redo it themselves. So
you know what I like? I like when somebody takes one of my memes and does something new with it.
Yes.
That's fun.
When the meme evolves, that's the best.
Yeah, when it takes life on its own, and then it talks about, like what we were talking about offline, the exponential growth of something, the exponential evolution of it, where, you know, it's like, oh, this person changes it a little bit, and then it's so popular, someone else will change what they did, and it just grows legs. So again, back to mnemonic warfare. Some people call it that. I think you guys have used that phrase before. Describe to me what that means to you. And from my perspective, mnemonic warfare seems to be one-sided. Like, there's a certain demographic of people that tend to create memes, and then another group of people don't.
This real quick, because I want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly. Are you saying mnemonic warfare or mimetic warfare?
I think he means to say mimetic warfare.
I'm saying it wrong. Mimetic warfare.
Yeah, that's what
Okay. Got you.
My bad. Okay, so mimetic warfare. Who are the people that create memes, like Greg, Sean, Rope? Like, what makes you guys turn into memers? And like, because I know for a fact I'm not a freaking memer. Like, I've tried, they fall flat, they're bad. I laugh at it, but you know,
everybody does that.
Yes. Do you think Greg and I were making memes that were bangers when we first started meming? No, especially Greg.
Yeah,
especially me.
So mimetic warfare. Talk to me about that. What is that in your guys' eyes, and why does it seem to be one-sided?
We're using the tools and weapons that are at our disposal to fight the battles that come to us. All right. For me, I see this giant establishment propaganda machine with like no real counterweight.
Yeah.
And the things that are being spat out are just absolutely absurd garbage. But I have this great equalizer. I've got the town square where I can take what you're doing, mirror it, and show everybody else how absolutely absurd this is and make them laugh. And nothing makes tyrannical people feel worse than being laughed at. So that's what I aim for. I want people who are saying absurd and tyrannical things to be laughed at for the jokes that they actually are.
Yeah, and it's, you know, before in the history, right, you used to not be able to, you know, as a regular citizen, you couldn't do anything to show that the emperor has no clothes, right? You would just have to sit there and applaud the whole time, like the emperor had clothes on. And now we have a way to point it out without saying it overtly. You know, we can make fun of them, and maybe they don't even know that we're making fun of them. You know, and the thing is, like, who are we memeing at? Like, we're memeing at the central banking system, right? That's what we're memeing at. It's kind of like this faceless, nameless system that we're trying to meme at, to take down. No one knows. Like, we can say, oh yeah, there's all these cantillionaires out there that are making all this money off of the money printer. Correct. But we don't really know who they are exactly. We have an idea of a lot of them, a lot of the politicians out there, and a lot of certain people and families and different things, but we don't know every single person. But we do know that it exists and that it's real. And as we continue on this charade of living in a central bank dystopia, then we are punished by it. And so that's what we try to do, is try to spread that information so we don't become those in the Matrix where we're the ones fighting for our own demise. We want to be the ones that are on the opposite side, waking people up to what's actually going on. And memes seems to be the most powerful tool to help open people's eyes.
So, and it is powerful, and it's exponential, and it's, again, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Why is it that it's one-sided? Why are you guys, or people like you, the only ones creating memes? Why is it that the people that you're attacking don't seem to leverage that tool? Whereas it seems like in the past, there were, at some point, people were making cartoons on, both sides of a political debate or of an argument. Why is it that? Yeah, go
Memes
ahead.
are funny if truth isn't on your side. That's
Exactly.
Mm.
It's that simple. Truth.
That's it.
If you're pushing a lie, you can't make it funny.
And so, is that kind of I don't know if this is the right term, a red herring, but where the people who know they're right and the truth is with them, essentially they can be funny about it, whereas the people who are lying, the people who, and they know they're lying, they kind of have to hide behind a facade of solemnness, behind a facade of stoicness, or if we don't move too much, we won't get found out. This kind of lends itself back to, communist regimes, where it's like you can't make fun of the ruler. If you do, you go to you go to a labor camp. If and it's funny, when I first got into Bitcoin, I heard Max Kaiser, he always talk about how, like, the French aren't funny. The French aren't funny because, they're socialist. Do you feel like socialism, like that type of political perspective, can have a drag on comedy, on levity, on the ability to create memes that scream the truth behind a picture?
I mean, look who are the truth tellers of our time. A lot of times it's the comedians. Comedians are some of these, right? Inflation is your fault.
Like, imagine being serious about that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
How can we not meme this to death? I mean, it's our fault. I don't even know what the explanation is for how it's my fault, but I know it comes from money printing, not from.
Yeah, I mean, here you have the Atlantic, notorious, just like the Huffington Post, the New York Times, as mouthpieces for the establishment. They put out these pieces on occasion, ideas. They hide behind, someone willing to stick their neck out for a lie, Annie Lowry, and they project these things. But because of the weight behind this platform, it gets legs, and people with weak disposition for discerning truth, they tend to buy into it, even if it's kind of half-witted, even if it's kind of like they don't realize they're buying into it, but because they see it so much, because they see the lie so much, they start to believe it. Would you say that this has is this the counterpoint to the mimetic warfare, by just lying so much that regular people tend to just start believing it?
This is just what happens when a machine has been around so long. They've lost touch with what truth is. It's right. Truth for them is what they say. So, okay, you're going to own nothing and be happy. Excuse me? I enjoy the things that I have that are private property. No, you're going to come take them from me? Is that what you're saying? Because I'm not going to be happy if you take my things. It's just, it's so absolutely absurd to say these things that it forces a response. And the response is memes and ridicule. And like that's the counterbalance to this just draconian fire hose of misinformation.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Well,
would you guys say that?
Think about how it used to be, right? If it was only these articles that were out, then like that's the only information that you could consume. And who are making those articles? The people that are getting paid by the Klaus Schwabs, by whoever is in charge. They're the ones. The media is co-opted by the ones who are in power to continue on propagating that propaganda. So, like, there has to be somebody on the other side saying something. There has to be somebody pointing out just the clownery that's going on, and that's all we're doing is just pointing out the clownery. That it's just ridiculous that they would say that they would even think that we would accept those terms, like that we would say, okay, I'll own nothing and be happy. Okay, inflation's my fault. Like, it's clownery. And a lot of people, this is what we're saying, a lot of people are asleep to that they do say, okay, I'll just accept theft because they believe that inflation's good. And so there's all these things that are going on and being said that are lies that people accept. And we're just here to say, you don't have to accept that. You don't have to accept the lies. You can have a better future. You don't have to be nihilistic about what's happening. And this is all that we're doing with memes, is just showing people, hey, we can poke fun at these so-called leaders and we can show them that we don't need them, that we can be our own heroes and we can make our own futures without their help, because they're not helping us. They hurt us.
Well said. And one more question about memes before we get to El Salvador stuff. I came into the space now almost 3 years ago, wanting to contribute, and the only way I knew to contribute was to write. And I've have a buddy of mine, and I'll just out him. Anders would always joke with me and he'll say, no one effing reads, right? It's like, I'm always laughing like, ha, ha, ha. It kind of like, it irks me, but at the same time, it's kind of like, yeah, that's kind of true. No one reads. What do you guys think? Like, is there a role for writing short or long form? Is it legitimate? Does it carry the same weight as a meme? Is a meme more, does a meme have more reach? What's your comparison, your perspective on the comparison between short form, long form, and mnemonic?
Do you think the Bitcoin white paper had good reach?
Yes.
What about Shelling Out by Nick Szabo?
I didn't read that one. No one reads.
Tour de Masters, the Bitcoin Reformation. Robert
Tour de
Breedlove,
Maester,
in Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
There are freaking Bitsteins. Everyone's a scammer, or
yeah, that's true.
Or every week, guy's hot take on libertarianism. Like, I mean,
man. Yeah. But no one's reading that. That's Audible.
People read.
He's listening to that.
People read, and some people are like me who are dyslexic, who have Guy Swan read it to them. And, but
good.
People absolutely read.
Okay.
Anders can't read. I think that's the biggest problem.
Yeah. That's it. Anders can't read.
That's because he can't speak English. That's the only reason why.
That's right. Yeah, my friend from Denmark, Anders, will be on this show in about a month. He's already scheduled. Can't wait for him. But we're not going to talk about his party. We're going to talk about the halving party. But before we go, I just wanted to talk to the audience a bit. Hope you guys are enjoying the show with Greg and Sean. Remember to click the subscribe button if you have not yet. Your engagement is vital to executing the Money Matters mission to help the world understand the criticality of sound money in all facets of life. So we're going to bring the guys back on, and I want to bring to stage just the El Salvador Halving Party page, and we can talk about that in any way you guys want. First of all, let me just start off. El Salvador. I've never been, and I see Sean down there, damn near every 3 months, just hanging out. Is it amazing, or is it the hype of the Bitcoin echo chamber?
I'll be honest, it's like 90% amazing, 10% hype. There's a little bit of hype, of course. There's always going to be some hype, but there's a lot of magic down there. And I've been down there a couple of times now, and there's just so many Bitcoiners down there. It's like imagine going to a country and you're not having all these normie conversations all the time. Like you're actually meeting with Bitcoin friends, with Bitcoiners, with people who understand what's going on and they care. Like it's just refreshing. You don't have to be like, oh yeah, there's store of value, medium of exchange, unit of account. Like you don't have to go back at square
one. You get past all that.
Yeah,
right.
Like you can speak at a very different level, and that's where your mind starts to understand things, when you're having conversations with people who are on a similar level with you, similar wavelength, and because then you start to learn when you have smarter people around you. That's what's so great about it. And then on top of it, it's just this paradise where it's always warm. You know, you got green trees everywhere and beaches and sun. So like, how do you go wrong with El Salvador?
Greg, have you been?
Not yet. This will be my first time going.
Right on. When you guys, like, how early the party's on the 3rd? How early are you guys getting there? Are you guys getting there a week before to prep? You guys just popping in the weekend before, a few days before? What's the agenda like generally?
So we're getting there like a half a week to a week before the actual event starts. You're right, just to prepare for the event that's going on.
Yeah, I think my plane gets in on the 6th.
March? Are you already there?
That's funny. So El Salvador, and again, echo chamber. There's people in the Bitcoin space that are hot and cold on El Salvador. Sean, you've been there a couple times. From what you see, are the Salvadorians or Salvadorans? I don't know how to say it, but are the Salvadorans happier since Bukele made that big switch to Bitcoin as the chief legal tender? And who are the people in El Salvador that are not happy? Because there has to be some.
I would say it's more about the safety than the money right now, that people are happy of what Bukele has done. They will be happy because Bitcoin's like sitting at an all-time high, and as it continues to go up and up, they're going to be happy. That's like Bitcoin's low time preference, right? I think what they're more happy about is how safe their country is now. And he's done a great job of holding criminals accountable, which, even in the United States, we don't see that very often, of criminals being able to go into stores and just rob them, and no one even cares. And so, you got to give big props to a president who went after the gangs who basically had ran the country for the last 2 decades, and he won. Like, that is not easy to do. You don't see that anywhere else, really, in Central America or in Latin America, where a president can actually go against the gangs and win. So big props to Bukele for that. And the people are happy. They're happier. There's people that are proud to say that they're Salvadoran now, that were the diaspora that left El Salvador. The people there are definitely happier. They have their country back, and they're starting to feel, like, hey, we can go outside, we can do these things, which they weren't able to do as much before. And so it's really cool to see how the changes that are going on, and to see the difference in just the quality of life you get when you go from one of the most dangerous places in the world to one of the safest places in the world.
Right on. No, I appreciate that answer. So I kind of want you guys to get into a social analysis experiment. There's not necessarily a right or wrong answer. But again, going back to the idea that not everyone is happy with Bukele and his how he executes this Bitcoinization in El Salvador. Greg, I want to start off with you. Who are the Bitcoiners? What's the demographic? What's the persona of the Bitcoiner that's essentially not happy with El Salvador? If they're not happy with El Salvador, what exactly do they want with this Bitcoinization of the world?
Well, as far as I can tell, the only Bitcoiners that aren't happy with El Salvador right now are in jail. The guy's got a 93% approval rating, and I'm inclined to believe that people are actually happy with the job he's doing. I know for a fact that some people aren't. Of course they're not. But losers, what do you want?
Right.
Sorry.
No, fair.
That's fair.
So essentially, like, it's a general consensus from rational thought that he's doing a good job, and I think he won his election by like one of the largest margins in Democratic history. Am I imagining something, or was that kind of the stat that came out? Do you guys know anything about that?
I think so. I honestly can't remember, but yeah, I think let's just say that he did, because I think he really did.
So okay. So the halving party, like, what's it going to be like? Who's going to be? I mean, and we see when we scroll down here, we kind of see an idea of the people that are projected or expected to be there. What's it going to be like? We've all been to or many of us, audience of obviously us here, been to the Bitcoin conferences, been to the Swan festivals, been to other ones, BitBlock Boom. What's the difference between this event versus those?
So the biggest difference is, first of all, if you're in El Salvador, you're making the pilgrimage to Bitcoin country. The second thing is, if you even want to click on the schedule right there, is just the way that we're formed, right? We're not having 3 or 4 different stages where people are speaking all at one time. This is a lot more relaxed of an event. There's pools, there's unlimited food, unlimited drinks for everybody. There's no VIP tickets. Everyone's a VIP. There's beaches. And so the majority of the time will be, fun activities where you get to meet your fellow Bitcoiners. You get to meet Bitcoiners that maybe you like their podcasts. You get to be up closer to them. And you're just being able to kick back and have a great time. If you do want to learn about Bitcoin, that is an option. And yeah, you're gonna have Don't Stop.
Is Yellow really just gonna play Don't Stop Believing for 20 straight minutes?
One can hope.
I love Journey, so I'm definitely FOMOing right now. That's awesome.
Yeah. So the difference is, instead of it being like, most people go to a conference and they go, why am I going to listen to this speaker? I could just listen to the recording when I get home, because that's what you do at a conference or an event. You go to be able to hang out and meet others. And that's how we're trying to design it. That's how we have designed it, is make it something that we would have fun at and that we would enjoy ourselves. And I think we've done a pretty good job to make sure that everyone who comes is going to have some magical moments. And we're capping it off the last night with something we call the Orange Party. So it's going to be a ton of fun.
The Orange Party at the end, the Orange Party right here.
Yeah.
Right on. Would you say that, because there's a dynamic called LobbyCon where people go to conferences but don't necessarily, they may buy the ticket, a lot of people get their tickets comped, but they're not really there to sit and listen to Robert Breedlove talk for 45 minutes when he's just going to say the same thing. Len Alden, and again, respectful people, but they're just going to regurgitate generally what they say. Are you saying that this is more of a large scale focused LobbyCon than an actual conference?
Correct. Yeah, this is definitely more focused on getting to know your fellow Bitcoiners and enjoying El Salvador together, making that trip down together, because so many people have had the desire to go to El Salvador. They just didn't know when they would go, who they would go with, and what they would do. And so now you have that chance. This is your chance to come to El Salvador and really see what it's like. And you get to hang out with Bitcoiners while you're there. And if you want to learn about Bitcoin, or if you're bringing down your significant other and they want to learn about Bitcoin, there's definitely going to be opportunities to learn. There's going to be speakers, but it's going to be more fun. It's going to be, not super, it's not going to be suit and tie type of thing. It's going to be a lot more relaxed, and everyone's going to be having a good time with good vibes. And hopefully we pass 100,000 at the halving party. We'll see if that happens or not.
I'm just excited we took the lobby experience and gave it this complete upgrade, where now the lobby has a bar and sunshine and pools and an open source stage whenever you feel like going to learn something about Bitcoin and how to self-custody. Much happier with this layout than the lobby layout.
Yes.
I can say that, Justin Orkney is going to be there for all things mining. I'm just like recognizing all these people. I know, it's like just surprised. I was like, oh, wow. Like I didn't expect that. I see Surfer Jim teaming up with Sessions for a self-custody workshop. Yeah. And it's like, so it does have it's obviously going to be a LobbyCon with a dose of conference dynamics. And it just feels like what you guys are doing here is kind of going to raise the bar for every single, suit and tie conference. Whereas like even Swans, they call it a festival, it's the Freedom Festival in Boston. The Bitcoin conference is massive. BTC Prague is massive, but again, they're primarily catering to the sponsorship, letting these businesses have their platform to talk about what they're doing. And you guys are saying, hey, let's flip this over. Let's have primarily the social dynamic, and let's make people let's make it about the people rather than the sponsors. And I think that's a great thing. Even though you guys obviously do have sponsors, it's your lead sponsor is Amber app. And of course, a lot of other great people involved, Lawrence and Nico, obviously bringing their talents to the stage as well. Tone Vase. So roles and responsibilities. So this is the Meme Factory presents, and I saw you guys on a few points in the schedule, you and Greg. Does anyone else on the Meme Factory kind of take of course, Yellow doing Don't Stop Believing every single day? Mm-hmm. Does anyone, what's the roles in the background that the rest of the Meme Factory is contributing to? How is the team bringing their essence to board?
This has really been a group effort all around from the Meme Factory, and it's been really fun. I've kind of been the project lead, you could call me, for the halving party. But it's really been the whole Meme Factory, and it's been fun for me to be able to kind of ask for volunteers from within the Meme Factory for certain things. If it comes to sponsorships, I'm asking Greg, hey, can you help me out with this? Pedro, there's different things that he's helping me with. Obviously,
where are Becca's sandwiches?
Becca, yeah, we got to get, Becca's.
How does she not have like a sandwich? Like at least
she has to deliver those to us. But it's been a whole team effort.
Plebeian Market on board as well.
What'd you say?
Did you just bring Plebeian Market on as well?
Yeah, that was Becca. And so it's just been all around effort from the team, and it's been great. It was random. We all came together as memers, and then like we all randomly had these different talents that fit together so well as a group. And so the only thing we didn't have was someone who had experience in organizing and running an event specifically. And so that's why we ended up getting Dragon, who's our event planner, who's helped out a lot. But other than that, it's been all of the Meme Factory guys that have been willing to work, being willing to step into different roles that they're not used to. And it's been fun. I think that's what a lot of people, it's like, yeah, it's a lot of work, but if you're working with people that you enjoy to work with, then it's fun.
I think what Sean is not saying is that there is a never ending list of shit to do. And we are not we do not lack volunteers for the hard work inside the Meme Factory, and it's been really nice to see that collaboration come together.
So what's the big selling point for people on the fence? We're getting to about, I think, 4 weeks today. We're recording on Saturday. It's less than 4 weeks away. What's the big selling point for people that are on the fence about going or not?
The big selling point is, look, you've been wanting to go to El Salvador. You've heard about El Salvador for the past 3 years, and you haven't come down yet. And honestly, it's like, why? Why haven't you come to El Salvador? It's not that far away, especially if you're in the United States. It's very close to the United States. This is your chance to come to El Salvador. If you don't come now, when are you going to come? And when are you going to see the first country that's making this move to a Bitcoin standard? And that's what's so cool about it, is it's this secret. You know, if you ask a lot of people about El Salvador, most of them, when I tell people that I'm hey, we're throwing this party in El Salvador, they say, why? Right? They don't even know what's going on down there. But we have this secret as Bitcoiners. There's a country that's making a shift to a Bitcoin standard right in front of our eyes in real time. Why wouldn't you want to go see that? Why wouldn't you want to bring back the good things that they're doing and try to implement that in your own community? If they can do it in El Salvador, why can't we do it where we are? And so that's the selling point for me, is come to El Salvador, celebrate the halving, and hang out with all your fellow Bitcoiners, and you're going to have a great experience. We're making this an amazing party that we're going to have fun at. And if we have fun at it, we know everyone else is going to have fun too.
I want to ask you about the competition and your perspectives on them. Obviously, there's going to be other people that hold halving parties. What's the clear difference between yours and those?
Ulrich, I don't think we need to talk about the other halving parties. I mean, all those guys, I'm sure, are doing great work. What
Yes, sir.
we're focused on is making the best possible experience for anybody else, and we're going to hold ourselves to our own standards. If you're already thinking about coming, if you've already seen the advertisements, you've already been to the webpage, you're hemming and hawing, the easiest pitch I can give you about coming to this party is that ticket prices go up in 5 days.
March 15th, they go up.
Right
March
on.
4th,
Well
March
said.
4th, midnight.
Yeah, no, well said.
Ulrich, it's every 4 years we get one of these, right? It's special. It's special. And nobody was thinking of doing this 3 years ago except Sean. And the meantime, and if you think we're not going to throw the best fucking event that we can possibly put together, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, and this event isn't something that's going to stop, right? Like Greg said, we've been planning this for 3 years. This is what I'm happy about, is that we were early enough to be able to contribute back to Bitcoin in a special way, because the whole thing is, a lot of people don't even know what the halving is, but they have their opinion on Bitcoin. If you don't know what the halving is, you can't really have an opinion on Bitcoin just yet. And so for us, it's like, we're not just looking at 2024. We're looking at, hey, this is a tradition that we want to have every 4 years. Just like the Olympics, that we're going to have the Meme Factory will be celebrating the halving party every 4 years. And so do you want to participate? Do you want to be at the first one? You can be at the first one in 2024, and you can be at every successive halving party from here until the day you die, because we're dying before the halving stop. Unless Hal Finney comes back to life and figures something out, But 2140 is when the last, 2136 actually is when the last halving will be. And so, we only get halvings and having parties and having celebrations for the short window in the whole history of humanity. So we need to celebrate it. This is something that's gonna be here and then gone. And when it's gone, you don't get it back. And so that's what we're really excited about celebrating, is this is going to be probably the most smallest and most intimate of the halving parties ever. And then they're going to, as more Bitcoiners come around, they're just going to be these amazing celebrations of Bitcoin and the halving, and getting away from the tyranny of central banking and into, freedom, peer-to-peer networks, peer-to-peer systems that Bitcoin brings to our world. So This is more than just a celebration of the halving, but it's a celebration of freedom and what it does for the individual in the world.
Right on. You guys think with the excuse me, with the experience you guys get from the event planning, you see yourselves as throwing more parties intermediary during the cycle at conferences, making your own features in mid-cycle, or are you guys going to keep it scarce and say, you don't come to this one, we'll see you guys in 4 years?
There's only going to be one halving party every 4 years. There might be some more events that we run if our time allows for it.
Mhm.
But
Put these one game at a time, Ulrich.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. But we got to
I'm
make
trying
sure
to-
we got
I
to
already know
focus on this
I can't
one.
go, but I want to go to a meme factory event, and I don't want to wait 4 years. I'm feeling FOMO right now, and I'm kind of irritated.
We can only we would only do it if we knew we could give our all, right?
Yes,
we
sir.
wouldn't throw. We wouldn't. We would not go throwing another event intermediary if we couldn't give it our all. That's for sure.
Right on. Okay, guys, I want to ask each of you to answer this last question before we wrap it up. And I want to get a hot take or Bitcoin story from you guys. What is the biggest, most important story in Bitcoin that no one is talking about? First, I'll go with Sean, and then we'll finish up with Greg.
Oh, dang, yeah. No notes either before.
Did I not include this one? I'm sorry. Whoever figures this one out first can answer. Something that, it's a big story, it's an important story, but
I would say, I don't know if this is like a story, but this is a topic that has kind of been ongoing for a long time. Even since the fork wars or the block size wars, I would say is the scaling. How does Bitcoin scale?
Mhm.
That is a topic that, and I guess people are talking about it. But basically just, how we're going to solve, or how Bitcoin will help us solve how to scale Bitcoin throughout the world, because the whole goal is to have a Bitcoin standard worldwide. And then just how does that happen, right? Does it happen with Lightning? Does it happen with, other things on top of Lightning or on top of Bitcoin? And how do we make it so people can self-custody? Those are issues that are not solved today. But I think that a lot of minds are thinking about and trying to figure out what's the best way. And it's definitely not JPEGs on the time chain. That is not how you solve Bitcoin scaling worldwide. So, but I definitely do think that Bitcoin scaling is something that is important to think about, and how that will work in the future.
Right on.
The biggest thing that is currently happening that nobody is talking about, and I think people are talking about it, but what I'm seeing is across Europe, farmers revolting. I think that's probably the biggest economic signal. Like, okay, this is a line in the sand that these socialist WEF rule imposing governments can't cross. And these people have the now motivation to find the weapon or the defensive properties of Bitcoin that are going to save them and let them vote with their wallets in the face of bullshit. Like people telling you can't grow crops, or it's going to cost you 3 times more to grow crops this year because reasons. Like, of course, they're going to go to your house and spray shit on you. Like, you can't just take people's lives from them, and then like the knock-on effect being that you're taking the lives of everybody inside the system you're already in with you, because you're not going to be able to feed them. So while it's heartbreaking to see people going through this, I take solace knowing that a larger and larger percentage of these people who have skin in the game are going to find Bitcoin, and they're going to find their peaceful resolution, and it's just going to move the ball forward.
Right on, man. Well, that was a great place to end. Again, I want to thank you both for coming on the show. And one last thing before we go. Oh, where's my screen? There we go. I want to make sure that everyone sees the Halving Party, BitcoinHalvingParty.com, Meme Factory presents April 3rd to 5th in El Salvador. Details will be in the show notes. Sean and Greg, thank you for being on the show today. It's been an honor. I remember when I came on the show, your show, a year ago, and it was just so fun to hang out with literally the funniest people on the internet. And thank you for coming on and supporting my show. I can't wait to have a hot wash session and tell me about all the fun stories that happened at Bitcoin at the Meme Factory El Salvador Halving Party. Thank you guys for coming on.
Thank you, Ulrich. Appreciate it, man.
Right on. So it's an honor to have the Meme Factory guys on the show. I hope anyone that can, please get out to El Salvador next month and take advantage of this special halving party hosted by a fun, passionate group. Details are in the show notes. Look out for future shows where we bring other brilliant voices that help us discover why money matters to everything. I am Sir Ulrich, like my father before me. See you next time. These two could write a book about that with pictures, or what the hell? Are we talking? End record.